Hello, and welcome to another episode of, or should I say, Game-i-sode of Where Our Minds Take Us. In this Game-i-sode, I am coming back to the game of Legionary's Life, and we're just going to go ahead and continue where we picked up from, or left off at. So we're going to go ahead and hit continue. Okay, so part 5. Here we are. We have some time. We're going to do some training, workouts, leisure, miscellaneous. I think last time we left off, we had a big battle. We had recently been promoted. We're Tesserarius, guard commander. So we're going to go ahead and start working on our constitution and quickness right after we do our fighting practice. Let's do some javelin, and then we're going to go ahead and spar. Okay, cool. Let's go ahead and back out of that, and then we're going to go ahead and start doing our workouts. I want to continue to bump that constitution up. Excuse me. The higher that is, the more health we have. Okay. Like many others here, Litorius is a survivor of Cane. They hardly ever talk about it, as living through such a horror scarred most of these men for life, and they had more than enough time to brood over it during the many years of exile. Okay, yeah, so I remember now. We are going to North Africa to conquer the rest of Carthage. We just finished the war in Hispania and kicked Carthage out of Europe. Okay. You were a kid when the tragic battle took place, and Litorius is telling you the tale of how he survived, how part of his maniple broke through the encircling army of Hannibal and fled, leaving the slaughter behind, a slaughter that went on until sundown. So I'm going to choose to be sympathetic. Let's understand. Your own combat experience tells you these men suffered a great injustice. They should have been commended for surviving a disaster of that magnitude. Instead, they were punished and stripped of their honor. You express your opinion, and although he doesn't say much, Litorius is plainly relieved at your understanding. So that made the troops like me a little bit more. That's always good. Okay, so here we are. We're back at the character management screen. So we're over-exercised. So let's hang out, play some dice, play a board game, play another board game. That one helped a lot. It looks like we won there. And let's hang out a little bit more. So we have superb morale. Virtue is moving up. The troops really like us. The centurion likes us. Let's see where our money is. 114 denarii. It's not bad. There's a picture of my Roman legion. Pretty neat. I think their shields were called a scutum, I believe. Let's look that up. Roman shield name. Yes, a scutum. The most common Roman shield was a scutum. Don't quote me on that. I may be saying it really wrong. The Latin word for shield. The Roman scutum was constructed in a rectangular and semi-cylindrical design. This curved shape would protect Roman soldiers along the fronts and sides. I'm curious, how heavy were Roman scutums? 22 pounds, so that's pretty heavy. So it looks like it was made from 3 sheets of wood glued together and covered with canvas and leather, usually with a spindle-shaped boss along the vertical length of the shield. So the boss is just that metal kind of protrusion in the very middle front of the shield. I want to talk a little bit more about the history of the Romans this episode. I may get distracted with the game. If so, that's fine. But I would like to just really dive into the history here and make this maybe a little more educational than the last episode. Because the last episode, I really concentrated on the game and the mechanics of the game. But Roman history is just rich and interesting and amazing. Oh, relatively amazing, I think. I find it incredibly interesting. So let's just go ahead and go back to the game here for now, though. We're going to exit out of there. And we have about half our time left. So we're going to do some extra guard duty. Yeah, it hurt my morale. That's fine. Keep doing more guard duty. And our morale has dropped a little bit. So let's do some more gym. Looks like we got paid. So we have 166 denarii. So I believe Roman money, denarii were one of the bigger coins, but they had smaller coins that were made of like copper and whatnot. Roman money system. So the auris, basic gold monetary unit of ancient Rome and the Roman world, it was first named numis auris, gold money, or denarius auris, and was equal to 25 silver denarii. So yeah, there you go. Denarii were silver, denarius were 10 bronze. So yeah, when we say denarii, it's referring to those silver coins. So it does look like they also had gold, bronze, and I'm sure all kinds of other types of coins were used. It'd be pretty neat to find some of that. So let's go ahead and do some more leisure, hanging around, talk with the boys, shoot the shit, just like any other soldier. And we'll continue to do that. We're going to do some more sparring practice. Looks like sparring isn't helping much. Okay, so we got another event. The wheat ration you are given today is blatantly lighter than it should be. Okay, so in the past I said nothing, but this time I'm a guard sergeant, so let's go ahead and complain. Looked like it matched my charisma check. The attendant apologizes and makes up for the missing portion. Morale is increased by 3. So that's good. So let's do this good sparring once more. So it looks like good sparring is not working much anymore. So I'm thinking we're going to have to start doing best if we survive this next battle, because I don't think I'm going to have time to do much more of that. Maybe. So we hung out a couple times. Let's try best. So yeah, that helped. Cool. So we are now sparring with the best in our legion or maniple. So there we are. It's time to move on, and I'm going to take a drink of my beer. Having some Apocalypse IPA. If you've never had it, it's pretty good. And it is brewed in Bend, Oregon. So if you're from Oregon, I'm sure you probably know about it. If not, try it. It's pretty bitter. Although I like bitter IPAs. What is the IBU on this? I don't know, it's 6.8% alcohol. I don't see IBU rating on this one. Oh well. Okay, let's move on. Scipio's year as consul is over, but he is given proconsular authority to carry on his plans. So I believe my understanding is, although loosely, similarity would be consul would be like president and proconsul, or proconsul would have been like, I want to say like vice president. Go ahead and look at that. Proconsul. So the proconsul, a governor of a province in ancient Rome, having much of the authority of a consul. So yeah, it would have been a governor of a essentially territory. Oftentimes Roman soldiers would have been given land after their campaigns ended, and higher ranking Roman soldiers would most likely have been given titles like proconsul. So it'd probably be very common to see Roman generals in positions such as proconsul. Anyways, moving on. All is ready. A large fleet carrying the whole army sails away from Lilybam. They say the journey to the north coast of Africa won't take long. Okay. Landing site near Utica, Africa. So we're in Utica. A thick fog enfolds the fleet. In the afternoon, there are many glum faces among your comrades. You are going in a lion's den after all. So you can choose to cheer them up, or there's nothing you can do. Let's try cheering them up. So I failed. Many are visibly annoyed. In the end, their dark mood is contagious. The troops like me less. My morale is decreased. So fortunately, the troops do like me a lot, and my morale is pretty high, so not a huge deal, but it still kind of sucks. At dawn, the fog is no longer there. Later, you finally catch sight of the African coast. You land not far from the city of Utica. After spending a few days strengthening your position, you are ready to take action. Your first raids through the surrounding countryside meet little to no resistance. Eventually, the detachment your maniple is a part of comes across a modest town. Your next target, it is surrounded by a tall fence, although calling it a wall would be an overstatement. So here we can lead the assault or stay behind. So I have gotten to this part before, and last time I did it. I said we, but I did lead the assault because I was a tesserarium or whatever, guard captain, guard sergeant. So I thought it made sense to lead the assault. But I think we got into like 80 rounds or something of that, and I had killed multiple people, and I was getting cut up. And usually these battles where you can choose are more dangerous from my understanding. So although it's not very brave, I'm going to go ahead and do stay behind. You try not to expose yourself. With such weak defenses, it shouldn't take long before the battle is over. While you stand back, the feeble resistance is soon overcome, and you gain access to the town itself. Troops are busy looting all around you. You see a couple of suitable places to start. So I can go into the large building in front of me or enter the house to your right. So I'm going to enter the house to my right. There's nobody inside. It looks as if someone left in a hurry. What can be taken is carried outside. Then you open a trapdoor in the floor and descend into a poorly lit cellar. Some light is filtering through a slit near the top of the wall. 2 other soldiers are with you. Awareness check failed. Except for a decent amount of food supplies, there's nothing of interest to be found here. You take what you can upstairs. You leave the now ghost town behind and bring prisoners and valuables to your camp. Continue. 2 days pass. Your group is ambushed on its way to another raid. The Tubicin plays its trumpet to call for help. You have to hold on until the nearby cavalry comes to the rescue. A volley of spears rains down on your right flank. I pass the defense check. Your prompt reaction keeps you safe. You must repel them. So I can go straight for the leader or stay in the ranks. I'm going to stay in the ranks because, like I said before, a true Roman soldier would have stayed by his brothers and fought like a soldier and not a warrior. And although maybe going for their leader may be a good tactic and daring, I think ultimately it's risking myself as well as the men to my left and right. And it's neither logical or ultimately a good tactic. Oh, and I just said go for his leader on accident. Never mind. I guess we're going for his leader. Before you can reach him, 2 of his men are in your way. See, so I just put myself in a really shitty position. So here I'm fighting 2 guys, 2 Libyan light infantry. Should be interesting. So here you can choose which one you attack. I'm going to just choose this one in front of me, and I'm going to throw my javelin. And I miss. So that kind of sucks. He does a feint. He does another feint. They both are successful. I'm going to back off and I'm going to recover. That succeeded. Another feint. Goes for a soft spot and miss. So I'm going to go for the guy whose stance is hurt. I'm going to see if I can hit him from here. And I am just going to turn down my sound real quick here. This game is very loud in my headphones. Okay. So here we can choose to recover more. I think our stance is good enough. We can do some feints. We can try to attack. I'm going to go ahead and attack. And I'm going to go straight for his head. And that just took almost half damage. Wow. So I'm going to go for his head again. Okay, he's almost dead. The other guy failed to feint. That guy recovered. I'm going to just try to take this guy out now. So I'm just going to go for his torso. He doesn't have much health left. So that should take care of him. And yep, he's dead. The other guy went for another feint. My feints are not very successful if I attempt them, so I'm just going to go ahead and go for the head of this guy as well. And I missed. And his feint succeeded, and now I'm going to go recover. So you can imagine I'm backing off, trying to gather myself, stand back up. He's still throwing stuff at me. And we're going to go ahead and attack his torso. So these guys are not wearing any armor. He went for my groin and missed. And now he's falling over, and now I'm falling over. Now we're both falling over. So I'm going to go ahead and recover again. And one thing that kind of sucks about this game, I think, is just in real Legion combats, I would be in ranks. I'd have men on both sides of me. And I think I spelled Nias wrong. Totally random. Anyways, I'd have men on either side of me, and we would be fighting together. And the way this game simulates the combat, it really doesn't feel like I'm fighting in a group of men. It feels like I'm fighting alone, which kind of sucks. And in this situation, that might be the case, but even in situations where you stay in your ranks, oftentimes you find yourself alone against an individual opponent. I would love to see somehow simulated actually fighting in a group. We're going to go for his torso again. Easy target. Head that time, and I miss, unfortunately. That's one thing I find about this game is it seems like you miss attacks that you think you should hit a lot, and occasionally get ones that you think you should definitely miss. So I'm just keep pressing the attack on his torso. Looks like he hit my helmet there. Fortunately, absorbed his attack, so it didn't do too much. And that's 2 misses to his torso in a row. I don't know what the deal is with that. That's ass. Okay. I kind of just want to kill this motherfucker now. So, and that's the 3rd miss to his torso. Holy fuck. This guy is just fucking dodging around, jumping back and forth, apparently. There we go. I finally killed him. Oh my god. So I'm going to take another drink. So there's no chance to rest. You still want to go after their leader. So I'm going to go ahead and say no. This seems very dangerous. You fall back into the ranks and nervously watch the skirmish evolve. A large unit of heavy spearmen is closing in on you. Your Tubisin keeps calling the cavalry. By the gods, where are they? You hurriedly get ready to repel the new threat. When the other side is at the right distance, you prepare to hurl your first javelin. So I'm going to pick a specific target. You take aim, and it looks like your target skillfully deflects a missile, but at least you've caused some minor disruption in the enemy formation. So that increased my morale. So that's good. So we close into each other, and the fighting begins. So I'm going to go defensive. I'm going to close in, and then I'm going to go offensive. Actually, I'm going to stay defensive. I'm going to feint because I want him to make the first attack. And he recovered. My feint was successful, and he recovered. So I'm going to feint again. He resisted. He attacked my torso and missed. Perfect. That's exactly what I wanted. See, now he's off balance. And this guy is wearing full armor. So I'm thinking maybe we go for soft spot head. Let's try it. And I miss. God damn it. So I'm going to back off, recover. Succeeded. He also recovered. Let's try backing off and another quick feint. He resisted. He went for my legs. Missed. Perfect. So let's go ahead and do another soft spot attack. Let's just go for his torso this time. So we hit him. Looks like he recovered a bit. I'm going to just press that torso attack again. And I missed, unfortunately. My guy really likes to miss. He's not very coordinated, apparently. So he missed again. Oh, and my stance is down. So I'm going to just go ahead and recover his stance again. He also recovered his stance. So this is definitely turning out to be a more difficult. So I'm going to take a rest. That succeeded. He also took a rest. He attacked my head and missed. So then let's go ahead and press that attack. We hit him. He recovered. Let's try attacking one more time. And, oh god, I miss again. Fortunately, he also missed. So it looks like the battle is starting to shift. And I'm having an awful time trying to recover here. I'm going to actually just stay in a neutral position and take a rest. So that helped. Quick feint. I'm going to back off, recover again. And it looks like that ended as a brief lull in the fighting. Okay, so whistle's being blown. I'm falling back into formation. And it looks like whistle's being blown again, and now I'm coming back up to the front. So I'm going to move in aggressively this time. This guy is also wearing full armor. That sucks. Okay, so I'm gonna actually try a normal feint on him. Oh, and that was successful. And he failed to recover. So let's try another normal feint. Let's try to get his... And he resisted. Failed to recover. Another normal feint. That worked. He didn't manage to recover that time. Another normal feint. Failed. So let's go ahead and attack. Go soft spot. I'll go ahead. And I miss. Son of a bitch. Let's recover. Go defensive, recover. Looks like we got another turn, so that's nice. We're going to just feint again. Okay, and this guy is really just staggering now. He is pretty much on the ground. So we're going to just go in. We're going to start hitting him. Oh, and his armor got most of that. So we're going to feint again. He continues to be on the ground. And now he is completely on the ground. But he did succeed in recovering some. He continues to succeed to recover, it looks like. Wow, this guy is just really... So I just went ahead for a normal attack that time. And I finally missed. He failed to recover. I'm going to recover. And it looks like he's back up to full. And he took a rest too. So I'm getting pretty tired here. I'm going to actually take a rest. I'm going to let him... Yep, he tried to feint. I'm going to rest one more time. He missed the groin. It looks like the battle's starting to shift again. I'm going to go for his torso. I missed. Okay, let's back off. Recover once more. He continues to miss. Let's go for the torso again. I hit him pretty good there. I'm going to continue to hack at his torso. And he tried to knock me, but failed. And it looks like the enemy is holding. I didn't manage to kill him. He's pretty badly wounded. Even above the noise of battle, you can hear hoofbeats approaching. Your cavalry is finally coming. The skirmishers disperse immediately and pay the heavier toll, while the spearmen disengage and carry out an orderly retreat to safety. You are too tired to conduct a pursuit. It seems your rescuers were in turn delayed by another ambush. You get moving again, but the rest of the day is essentially uneventful. The first few days of raiding went smoothly. Your position is solid, and you've gathered a fair amount of slaves and loot. So it looks like I got 115 denarii from that. Spirits are high now, but no one forgets that you are outnumbered here, so close to Carthage. The real campaign is about to begin. So our morale went up. Looks like my fighting skills went up. I would be promoted if there's a position available. You have to wait your chance. Hopefully your popularity won't have changed by then. Okay, so it looks like I'm so popular they want to promote me, but there are no positions open at the moment. So that's good. It seems like the troops really like me. So we're going to just go ahead with our routine and random event. The arrival of a precious ally has brought great enthusiasm. Massinissa is a Numidian tribal leader engaged in a war of succession with Syphax, the current king of his people. In exchange for Rome's support, he swore to help you against Carthage. You remember he fought against you in Hispania, apparently. Such trivialities are easily set aside when larger concerns are at stake. His superb horsemen will be an invaluable asset. So that increased our morale. So let's do another javelin. So we're going to do our sparring practice. Looks like it's ineffective. That sucks. Let's go ahead and look at our... So Constitution is quite a bit better. I'm going to continue to try to move that Constitution up. Oh, so it looks like another foraging event. Okay. So it looks like most of the towns are in the top left. There's one on the far right. So I'm just go straight to the top left. Yep. Right up there. We'll go to this one first. So we'll collect Got some good resources there. Go to this one. It's kind of interesting to think about. And this was normal in this time period when you needed food, you know, resources to repair equipment, whatnot. You honestly would just go around to local villages just like this and essentially just loot them. It's kind of interesting to think about. Okay, so we have enough supplies. And I mean, this was common practice. I mean, the military, oh, looks like we got ambushed. We walked straight into an ambush. So we got some stones thrown at us, but I managed a defense check. And it looks like just like that, they left us. It's just a hit and run attack. Guerrilla warfare is as old as time. So that improved some opinions and morale. Good. So our quickness is still pretty low. So I'm going to do some running. And that increased our quickness a little bit. My morale went down there because I over-exercised. So we're going to take some time, relax, play some games, have some fun. And we have quite a bit of money now. So I'm going to go find a store, see what they got. So this one doesn't cover as much, same amount of resistance or protection. Awareness is better, qualities are the same. I'm not feeling it. There's some greaves, there's some short chainmail. Let's look at this gladius here. So the damage, higher upper end, low end. Better anti-armor, a little less handy, reach is the same, crafting quality is less. I don't think that's worth it. This short chainmail is way too expensive. Let's take a look at these greaves. It covers the same, looks like they're exactly the same. Chainmail, way too expensive. Quilted linen cuirass. Okay, let's take a look at it just for fun. Look. Actually looks better than what we have. Well, no, damage protection and armor resistance is lower. It just covers more of our body, and the material quality is pretty ass. So we're going to search again, see if we can come up with anything better. Not seeing anything that looks too amazing. Let's take a look at this gladius. 5 to 15 instead of 10 to 14. Yeah, this just doesn't look as good. I think the sword we have is pretty solid. So I'm not seeing much. Oh, another random event. You have been besieging Utica for some time, but the city is holding out proudly against your vice grip. Meanwhile, your spies report that a relief army left Carthage to the southeast. It is led by an old acquaintance of yours as Drubal Gisco. So we fought him in Hispania. The general you defeated near Illippa 2 years ago, he's not alone. King Syphix of Numidia joined him with reinforcements. Their combined armies form an imposing force even larger than yours. Scipio commands to abandon the siege. You retreat to a fortified camp on an easy-to-defend promontory. They wouldn't dare to attack when you have the high ground. Obi-Wan Kenobi, anyone? Okay, interesting. Let's take a look at these swords. I think this is the same sword I have. Yeah, it looks like it. Okay. Celtic helmet. Let's take a look at that. Same helmet. These greaves look like they actually might be better than what I have. So they do cover a little bit more of my body. Not by much. So you know what? I'll buy the greaves. Yes, I want to buy those. And we will sell our old ones. Confirm sale. And you know what? I'm happy with that. That's enough. Okay. So let's go ahead and continue to work out our quickness and endurance. Let's do some guard duty. There's always a considerable number of merchants mingled with the crowd of camp followers. One of them invites you to take a look at his wares. Sure. You find nothing of interest. Okay. I'm assuming if you pass the intelligence and awareness checks there, you could probably get something pretty good. Let's go ahead, do some more guard duty, do some more leisure. The maniple meets a large party of Libyan heavy spearmen. Their leader, a barrel-chested officer, keeps taunting you. He's trying to provoke you into a fight. He and his men are holding the high ground. A frontal assault would cost you a lot and bring little benefit. This guy is half as skilled as he is confident. He is a deadly opponent. I'm just going to keep silent. The centurion orders to pull away. The enemy officer keeps taunting you until you are out of hearing range. Morale decreased, whatever. It's worth not dying. Like I said, this game, it's easy to die. Okay, so we're moving on to the next battle. Negotiations are taking place between Scipio and the enemy leaders. Some believe the proconsul is trying to buy time. Few would admit it, but the combined armies of Hasdrubal and Syphax could be more than you can handle. An uneasy truce descends while both forces are encamped in the vicinity of Utica. Excuse me. So here we are in Utica. Your patrol meets a party of Numidian foot soldiers, not friendly Numidians. These are Syphax's men. Tension rises very quickly, but there is still a truce in place. You are leading the patrol, so we can make my men stand down or force a confrontation. Okay, so far, even though tensions are high, we haven't actually been provoked, as far as I know, from what it's told me. And there is a truce, and our leader, Scipio, who's in charge of the Legion, brokered that truce. So as a professional soldier, our orders would most likely not be to force confrontations. So I'm going to be professional about this and have my men stand down and only fight if we're provoked. So our charisma check passed. Situation never gets out of hand. So it increased my virtue, and the centurion and proconsul like me more, which makes sense. I followed orders. Gradually, you get tired of trading insults and go to your separate ways. A couple days later, delegation is preparing to leave for Syphax's camp. You notice your centurion is dressed like the servants that accompany the envoys. Actually, you recognize several centurions from other maniples, all in the same disguise. You can't help but wonder what they're up to. Several days pass as embassies keep visiting the Numidian camp. The negotiations never amount to anything concrete. Scipio summons a council of war. After sunset, his tribunes lead you out of Castra Cornelia, your large fortified encampment. The night is well underway when you are in the vicinity of the enemy positions. Part of the whole force is assigned to Laelius, Scipio's second in command. He and Massinissa will lead the attack on the Numidian camp, setting fire to the easily flammable huts. You'll partake in an assault on the other camp where the Carthaginians are based. You don't have to wait long before the first fires appear and quickly spread through the large camp of Syphax. Even from here, you can perceive the disaster befalling your enemies. Many Carthaginians leave their camp and hurry towards their allies' position, probably not realizing what is really happening. You intercept them, they're unarmed and disarranged. The butchery begins. So my virtue check passed. This is no different than what Hannibal did to your compatriots at Lake Trasimene. Part of your mind keeps saying that. Why do you feel so sick then? So I lost morale. So apparently because I passed the virtue check, my morale gets decreased. Okay. The first wave is soon obliterated. Now the gates are left unattended, and you break into the enemy camp. Before you can set fire to the nearby cabins, a bunch of spearmen tries to bring you to a halt. You fall upon them like hungry wolves. Okay, so here we are in combat, and I'm actually going to answer a text message here. I'm going to actually just take a quick break. Okay, welcome back. So here we are. We just set fire to Syphax's camp, and we're butchering and running down the Carthaginian soldiers running to help their allies. Sorry, I'm getting yet another text. Okay. Anyways, so here we are, the three of us, myself and my two legionary friends, and we are facing down a Carthaginian levy soldier. So, from my understanding, levies are essentially militia. So, in this time and feudal times, lords would have levied or raised troops from their peasantry. So kind of think of a draft. So that's essentially what this soldier is, a drafty. So here's this poor drafty facing 3 veteran battle-hard legionaries from the Roman army. So we're going to just go ahead aggressive and throw that javelin at him. Hits him in the head, but his armor absorbs it. So it looks like he has some pretty good head armor. So he has no leg armor. I'm going to aim for his legs. And we hit him. Our friend hits him. Our other friend misses. Or actually, it looks like he hit him. The enemy missed. So I'm going to continue to hack at his legs here. And I miss, even though I was almost guaranteed to hit. And we continue to cut him down. I'm going to go for his torso. And again, I miss. This game never ceases to surprise me at how much I can miss, despite how much it says I should hit. Okay. And for some reason, it skipped my turn. So I'm going to recover there. And it looks like they killed him. We got some time to recover again. That guy's dead. And everyone's taking rest. So it looks like we're up against another one. I'm going to move into an aggressive position. I'm going to hack at his legs like I'd done before. That made him pretty tired. So we're trading blows. The 3 of us ganging up on this one poor levy. Can only imagine how terrified you would be being him. Personally, I feel like I would just run at this point if I were this drafty being attacked by these 3 very imposing Roman soldiers. I say imposing, but my understanding is Romans, Italians, Latin people at this time period were actually quite short, but still quite formidable and not someone you would necessarily want to face in combat, especially when there's multiple of them in a line. So we took out another one. We're going to continue to cut these guys down, and you can imagine they're running away, and we're ganging up on them one by one. I can only imagine the bloodbath ensuing at this moment as Roman legionnaires rush in and cut down these very sad draftees. So there we are. We're all taking our rests. And again, I guess we're just going to keep cutting these guys down. It looks like I missed that one. So I'm going to go in a defensive stance. I'm going to recover. I really don't even need to get in a defensive stance. Seems to be prioritizing fighting our friendly troops. So the survivors disperse. Set fire to the buildings close at hand, then pull out and wait for the inevitable. Continue. The flames are devouring the enemy's base in front of you. A large crowd attempts to leave through the gates at once. Many are crushed by their own companions. Of those who get through, some are taken prisoner and countless others are put to the sword. So at this point, they're in complete panic. You intercept a small clutch of people trying to sneak away in the shadows. There are 5 men. Their faces and clothes are covered in soot and blood. They are scarred and unwilling to fight. So I pass the intelligence and awareness. Their leader is a man in his 40s. Even under the dirt, you can see his clothes do not belong to a common person. His manners are typical of a man used to commanding obedience. You have a hunch he is someone important. Centurion seems inclined to have them killed and be done with it. I'm going to tell him my suspicions. I think that's the right thing to do. Charisma check succeeded. For a minute, he thinks about what you said. At last, he nods and says it won't hurt to take a closer look when there is time. On his order, the troops immobilize the Carthaginians and carry them where they can be kept in check. Slaughter goes on for many hours. In dawn, you contemplate the full extent of the catastrophe you have inflicted upon your enemies. So we slaughtered these people. The huge combined force that threatened to take you down is no more. Their losses number in the tens of thousands. As Drubal and Syphax are now not among the prisoners, at first they are believed to have died in the fires, but soon you are hearing persistent rumors claiming that they are both still alive. Most likely. Many spoils are salvaged from the ruins of the camps. As always, everyone gets his share. So I got 120 denarii. The important-looking man you captured turns out to be a senator of Carthage. Your leaders are very pleased with such a high-profile hostage. So the centurion and proconsul really liked that, and they gave me 150 denarii reward. Awesome. You have dealt a severe blow to Carthage. The end of the war is getting near. Morals up. Morale. So I've been promoted to Optio. Wow. Okay, so I'm actually going to take another quick break. Okay, welcome back. So we just finished essentially crushing the Carthaginian and Numidian armies. Here we are, back in camp. Time to lay back, do a little training, relax. So let's go ahead and look at our inventory. We have quite a bit of money. Let's get our training out of the way first. And, oh my god, supply collecting. I'll be honest, I don't care too much for these supply collection mini games. Why can't they ever put the towns near the start? Make you go far away from them. Okay, so let's go up to these. You find a brook with good fishing. So we can choose to waste some time and fish or move on. Sure, let's fish. So we caught a few small fish. That's all right. Whatever. Our fishing area. Sure. Again, only a few small fish. Just get our supplies. Get out of here. I'm not going to fish again. There's a large villa here surrounded by farms. A small party greets you. It is led by a man in his middle years. He is wearing a nicely crafted short chainmail. You can tell at a glance that he's the master of this place. He addresses you in a mix of Latin and Punic. The nobleman, whose name is Himilco, challenges you to a duel. If he wins, your men will leave this place empty-handed. Not that it makes that much of a difference to you once you are dead. He may no longer be in his prime, but he is very confident in his skills. You can rest assured this would be a very hard fight. I'm just going to leave. Troops like me less. I don't give a fuck. Okay, fishing fuckers. Don't want to die. Okay, so there weren't a lot of provisions. We looked harder. We found more. They were hidden. Whatever. I'll be honest, I don't care too much for these provision collection mini games. It's honestly not that fun. We got ambushed. Walked straight into an ambush. Stones are thrown. Defense good. And it ceases. So, didn't do too much. Didn't seem like it ever does. So we got out. Everything looks good. Okay, cool. So we did our javelin practice. Let's go ahead and do our sparring practice. And another random event. You have to build a bridge to cross the river in front of you. Help the engineers. Do the grunt work. Supervise while the rank and file does the work. So we're going to go ahead and do the grunt work since I have strong strength, a lot of strength, and it makes sense that I would help. The rank and file appreciates you sharing the burden. You wouldn't have minded a little rest, though. So morale decreased. The troops like me more, though, and I passed a strength and endurance test. You are tireless and hardworking. With 100 men like you, the bridge would be finished in half the time. So the troops like me even more. The centurion likes me more, too. The bridge is ready. You cross the impressive piece of engineering and leave the river behind. So let's do more sparring. That's cool. One thing I want to take a look at here. So I'm in Optio. You are second in command of your century. In battle, you keep in line the rear of your maniple and will take the centurion's place at the front when needed. So if the centurion is the platoon commander, I am like the platoon sergeant. Interesting. Let's look that up, actually. Optio. Optio. So, in Optio, plural, optiones, and sometimes, albeit rarely, anglicized as option, or I'm assuming that's pronounced maybe option, was a position in a centuria of a Roman army similar to that of an executive officer. Interesting. Okay, so not a platoon sergeant, but an executive officer. The main function of an optio was an optio centuriae, the second in command of a century, although there were many other roles an Optio could adopt. That's right, because a maniple was like 120 men, so that's like a company. And your Optio would be second in command, being your executive officer. All right. Let's get back to the game. So morale is still really high. Virtue is decent. The troops absolutely love me. Centurion likes me quite a bit. And the proconsul, he thinks I'm okay. Let's go do some leisure activities. We'll hang around. Good. That's right. We have a lot of money, don't we? So let's go ahead and do the buy and sell. We'll search and see what we can find. So I'm not so sure we're going to find a better sword than what we already have. Yeah, see, the one I have is better. This one is more handy. But I like mine. I'm going to keep mine. You might be able to get some better plate armor. So this is the same thing that I already have. Short chainmail, but that's quite expensive. Do I have enough money for that? Actually, I do have enough money for that. Barely. Let's take a look at the pectoral plate. So it offers more protection, but slightly less coverage. And the material quality is actually better. Let's go back to the short chainmail. So this offers quite a bit of coverage and more damage protection, but less anti-armor resistance. So I'm not quite sure what that means. Honestly, I'm inclined to buy it. It covers my groin and torso quite a bit. This is hard. I think what I have is good, so I'm going to keep it. So let's look at our workouts again. Let's try to get that constitution up. Okay, so it looks like we got to move on already. As Drupal has managed to convince Syphax not to give up on the war effort with a display of enviable tenacity, he has also raised another levy of soldiers. More interestingly, they were joined by 4,000 battle-seasoned Celtiberian mercenaries. That's an interesting... yeah, that's interesting. Okay. So now we're fighting some pretty veteran infantry. Once again, Scipio leads you away from the city of Utica, leaving enough forces behind to maintain the ongoing siege. You come inside of the enemy within days. You may camp on a hill a few miles from theirs. Save for the Celtiberian Scutarii, you are not worried about what is to come. Nobody doubts that at the end of the upcoming battle, Carthage will be one step closer to capitulation. So this game is actually really making me want to play some Total War. So I'm thinking after this, maybe I install WOMTU Total War and we play through that. I think that could be fun. Okay, continue. You can volunteer to scout the surrounding area if you so wish. I'm going to stay here. You are enjoying your dinner of bread, lentils, and veal. Even after all these years, meals have a unique flavor the day before a battle. Helvius is asking if anyone wants to bet on his Drupal's fate. So we can bet 5 denarii he'll be captured. Bet 5 he'll escape once again. Or don't bet anything. I'm going to bet that he's going to get captured. Helvius takes the bet and leaves soon after. His guard duty is about to commence. It's time to get some rest. I really don't know what's going to happen here. This is far further than I ever got in any of my other runs. By a lot. The next day, a large skirmish flares up when Scipio leads the cavalry to harry the Punics and their allies. At first, you are holding the ground in support of the more mobile forces. Chaos ensues as the enemy launches a counterstrike. Light infantry is harassing your left flank, pinning you down. Excuse me. Ahead to your right, you notice a group of retreating Velites, and they are in serious trouble. One of them lies on the ground, a grievous leg wound preventing him from fleeing. 2 of his companions are desperately trying to hold off 5 Numidian foot soldiers. Velites are skirmishers, poorly equipped for hand-to-hand combat. They're about to succumb. So we can run out and fight the people attacking them, or we can stay here and face 5 warriors would be suicidal. Oh, God, this is an interesting one. So I can take the non-soldierly route of breaking formation and assisting these V-light skirmishers. And I believe a lot of these skirmishers that the Romans would have used would be people from non-Roman citizens, essentially. So you could actually, I believe you could earn your citizenship through military service if you were not born in Rome. So oftentimes they're skirmishers and they're kind of tertiary forces. Anyone not a legionary would have been people from other regions, other ethnic backgrounds. Anyways, so facing 5 warriors sounds really suicidal. Oh, so let's leave the formation and help these V-lights. You cover the short distance as fast as you can. The Numidians shift their attention to you. Your virtue has increased by 12. Wow. Okay, so instead of 5 warriors, I'm fighting 3 veteran Syphax soldiers. So let's go in javelin first. That hit him. That did some good damage too. He tried to knock me, failed. Attacked my groin, missed. Okay, let's try to knock this guy down. Okay, so he is pretty much on the ground. My leg armor blocked that. He recovered a little bit. And I'm going to press the attack on this guy. I'm going to hack at his head here. And that hurt him pretty good. Okay. So far, everything's looking pretty good. And these guys don't have much armor. So that's good. And I missed there. Oh, that's a bastard. Ooh, and they got my arm. So I'm going to back off. I'm going to try to recover here. And I failed, unfortunately. And they're missing. They're missing. Again, failure at recovery. God damn. And I am pretty much on the ground at this point. Fortunately, my armor helped me there. Okay, I recovered a bit. Oh, God. And I keep falling down. Essentially, these guys just keep hitting me and I keep falling down. Okay, I needed that. Oh, thank God for my armor. It's just taking a beating. Okay, here's my chance. I'm going to attack this guy's torso. And I killed him. Thank God. Did some good damage there. So I'm going to attack this guy since he's slightly at a disadvantage. I'm going to go for his head. And I miss because I am the most uncoordinated son of a bitch you've ever met, apparently. I back off. I'm going to try to recover. Again, I fail to recover because why would I recover? All right, I get a chance to recover there. He takes a rest. Quick feint, failure. Oh, so I'm going to take a rest here. That succeeded, so that's good. I'm going to feint. I'm going to attack. He's going to feint. So this looks like it must be some sort of time battle this time. So I'm going to go for this guy's torso. I hit him pretty good. Okay. This is pretty sketch here. I hit him. I get another chance to attack. Hit him again. That's good. Okay. Ooh, and that guy got me pretty good there. I'm going to go ahead and kill that guy. And I guess I'm going to attack this guy. And I miss. Son of a bitch. That guy misses. That guy hits me. I'm taking a pretty good beating now. So at this point, I'm wondering if I should just back off. I have a feeling I'm going to die here. This feels like death is coming. So I've killed 2 guys. So I'm starting to realize I think I misread that last. I think it was saying there's 5 people it would be suicide to go in. And I chose to go in anyways because I am an idiot. And now I'm most likely going to die. I'm definitely going to die. There's literally no way I survive this. And I'm getting very fatigued too. I really don't see any outcome where I win. I'm going to attack him. Yeah, I died. Oh, look at that. I guess that ends this run. Wow, I did very well. Look at that. 745. So I got pretty far that round. And my next runner-up, I scored 230. Yeah, you can see there. That's too bad. Well, that was fun. Yeah, so that's a Legionary's life. With that, I'm just going to end this episode, I guess. Like I said, I may return to this game later, but I'm going to just leave this as a 2-part series. I'm kind of wanting to re-download WOMTU Total War and maybe play through that. And I think I'm going to brush up on my Roman history too a little bit so we can really delve into the topic there and the history behind it and just the rise and fall of the empire and the rise and fall of the republic. For those of you that didn't know, Rome did start as a monarchy, evolved into a republic, and then eventually was essentially overthrown and turned into an empire. So that was kind of part of what Caesar was famous for fanning the flames of kind of hatred towards the Senate at the time. And he did declare martial law essentially and became temporary dictator. I'm not sure if I buy into the idea that he wanted to be the emperor himself or wanted to be an emperor, but he definitely influenced the civilians, the people of Rome to distrust their current form of government. And then after his death, they rose up, overthrew, and I want to say Augustus took over after him, although I don't exactly, or maybe it was Mark Antonio. Mark Antonio was a sergeant I had in Okinawa. But yeah, that ends part 2 of A Legionary's Life, and just as fast as we jumped into this, his life was taken, and thus ends the story of Gnaeus, spelled badly. Tune in again for another episode. Bye.